that activist in America, Charlie Kirk, he got shot.
At my stumbling, they gathered in glee. They gathered together against me. Ruin was their delight. For they said among themselves, "Let us lie in wait for the righteous man, because he is inconvenient to us and opposes our actions. He reproaches us for our sins against the law and accuses us of sins against our training. He professes to have knowledge of God and calls himself a child of the Lord. He became to us a reproof of our thoughts. The very sight of him is a burden to us, because his manner of life is unlike that of others, and his ways are strange. Let us test him with insult and torture, that we may find out how gentle he is, and make trial of his patience, and prove his meekness. For if the righteous man is the Son of God, he will help him, and will deliver him from the hand of his adversaries."
Can anyone be a woman?
Yes!
Our country's sicker than ever. We're more suicidal, more anxious, more depressed. Crime rates are up. We have deaths to despair way up. We're in an existential crisis in this country, largely because people no longer believe in God. Our family formation is down. I think how you view the world, how you view yourself, and how you view yourself in the cosmos, most importantly, is more important than how much money you have in the bank account. And that's what my biggest disagreement with Marx is he was highly, highly obsessed and focused on people's material standing. I'm much more interested in people's eternal spiritual standing and, of course, how they view themselves in relation to the world.
Maybe God is stirring us, bringing us to the brink of danger, in order that we might begin to examine ourselves and restore the dignity of man and a belief in God. Our nation is too full of those that are crying down, down with the universities, down with schools, down with the churches, down with teachers, down with government, down with the police. Can you build anything down? You cannot. Certainly time in our nation to change our words. Let's begin now to use the word up. Up from all of this filth. Up from this violence. Up from this indifference of courts. Up. Up to the hid battlements of eternity. Up. Up to God.
What did the good Lord say about violence? He recommended it. Think of it. Kingdom of heaven is won by violence, and only the violent shall seize it. And again, I came not to bring peace, but the sword. Think of it. Bringing a sword, asking for violence. But the violence that he recommended is a different violence than the violence we have today. The violence that he recommended was not a violence that was directed against neighbor. It was a violence that was directed against self. The violence that he commended and the sword that he recommended was not the sword that swung outward like spears, hacking off the ear of a servant of a high priest. It was a sword that was thrust inward, cut out our pride and covetousness and lust and anger and envy and judgment and sloth. In other words, the violence that he recommended was self-discipline, self-denial, the crushing of evil instincts for the sake of the betterment of man. And that violence has been neglected. Discipline has passed out of our American life. We do not have it in our schools, in our seminaries, in our homes. So the violence that we are to have is the violence of self-denial. And as we neglect to practice that self-denial and that interior violence, as we drop it, the streets pick it up. The muggers lay hold of it. The rapists practice it. They are doing violence to their neighbor instead of violence to themselves. That's the reason we have so much violence in our streets. Everything we drop, the world picks up and then perverts. And not until America begins to restore in her schools and family life some self-denial, not until then will we take violence off our streets.